Hi, this is Daphne with Glitter It Up with Daphne, and so today I'm going to be working on some things that are going to go on a garland. So to start with, I'm going to just kind of show you like one thing of each. So I made these chocolates. Well, they'll be chocolates once I paint them. But so I mixed up, I ordered white clay from Walmart, and they sent me a bucket of mixed clay. So it had like a yellow, the blue, and the red. And a white also. So I just mixed them all together. And so what you do is you just push those in. So this is the color you come out with. Kind of funny color. But anyway, so you just push those in, and then I pop them in the freezer for a little bit to let them set up, and then that way you can just pop them right out easily. So you can see that's what I do with that. So then you get a thing like this. So then all of these have to be painted. So on this one, I wanted it to have like a little design on it. So I'm gonna do with the glue gun, just like a little swirl. It doesn't have to be perfect. So there you go. So I kind of wanted it to look like a caramel that you get like in a box of chocolates. So these things right here, and I did this one with my strawberry mold that I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to be painting all of these, and also I'm going to be making a little box of chocolate, and so I'm going to be using all these things in it. So I've already got some of these made. So these are some of the chocolates that I have made to go in it. So some of these have to be Mod Podge and stuff. So anyway, I'm going to walk you through everything that I do. So, you know, pretty much a mold, like I had the little heart molds. I've shown those in the past. They're just like a little flat. And I made these, and then I painted them. So you can see, I just used whatever clay I had, whatever color. It doesn't really matter. Like you can see the color that kit was. See? Purple. So it doesn't matter, whatever clay you have. Like they have the little buckets of the clay that you can get at Hobby Lobby, and if you can get them for like 40% off, it's like $2 or something like that. So you can put together your chocolates for pretty cheap. So anyway, so this right here is just foam board that I got from Dollar Tree, and you just can use like a cookie cutter or whatever you think to do a foam thing. And then I'm going to turn it into a little box of chocolates without a lid. But I'm going to show you this. You could also get away with doing this. Like you could just take the lid off and just use only this, and then you just put like your little things in it like that. You would glue them in, and then you know, you just add your little chocolates. So you could easily do that if you don't want to go through the trouble of making that. But I was trying to get by with this not costing a lot of money. So that was my goal, was to try to do that. So anyway, so I want this to be red. So I'm going to go ahead and paint this red. So I just have Apple Barrel Red Apple. So it's probably going to take 2 coats on each side. So I'm going to do one side Oh yeah, I was going to show you the foam board. So this is the foam board. So you can see where I've cut it out. I'm not going to show you doing that because it is pretty much, that's the hardest part to me of this whole project, is cutting the foam board out. And then you will want to peel the paper. It has paper on both sides of it, so you'll want to peel that off because it might bubble or lift or whatever. So this is just peeled down to the foam part. Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to put a couple coats of paint on both the front and the back, but I'm going to just do the back side first a couple times, and then I'll flip it and do the front side. And you're not really, depending on where you put this, you probably wouldn't see the underneath side, and you probably wouldn't see a lot of this because it'll have the candy in it. So it would cover it up. I think I only did one coat on the back side, maybe, from what I remember. And the reason I did that is because this is going to be, you're not going to see it probably. Because even if you were to set it down on something, unless you picked it up and turned it over, you wouldn't see it. But I'll show you what I've got in store for you with that. As soon as I get all this stuff done. All right. So I'm going to let that dry. And so then I'm going to paint these. So you could paint these like any color of, I wanted these to look like milk chocolate. So on these, I painted them like dark. So I used the Waverly chalk paint and the truffle for the dark. And then I had like this brown color that I have that I paint my baseboards and stuff with. So it's a mixed paint. But any color that you perceive as a milk chocolate, I think you can even buy like melted chocolate in Apple Barrel. But any color that you think looks like a milk chocolate, that would probably work fine. So then I'm just going to paint these. So you can see how that makes it look like it's part. You can even see that that was the glue gun. And I do get paint all over me. I always do. I always do. I get glitter and paint everywhere. Always, always. I think my dog is talking to me. That's Oreo, if you hear him in the background. I don't know if you can hear him or not, but he's talking. So this paint has a bit of a gloss on it, so I didn't have to gloss this, which was nice. But I am going to make it look like it has sugar crystals on the top. So I will do that once this dries. I'm going to do one more coat on the top of it. And I'll put the glitter that I have that kind of looks like sugar crystals. Okay, so that's that. So the other thing is I wanted, so like this one looks like a metallic red. I kind of wanted it to almost look like a foil wrapped piece of candy. So I want this one to look like the pink. So I'm going to do, I have this folk art metallic, let me get my glasses and I'll read what it says. So it's like rose shimmer. So that will be for that little heart. And it will take a few coats of this. Okay, so then that's gotta dry. So I don't have to worry about painting the underneath side because it's gonna be in the box, so you will not see the underside at all. So I don't have to worry about that. So then the other thing is these, I want them to have these on them. Well, I guess I should paint this first because this will take a while. So this, I accidentally mashed it up a little bit, but by the time it's in the box, I don't think you'll notice it too much. So I just have to paint this to look like a strawberry. And it does take a few coats. So actually 3 coats. And I will show you what I have in store. Because I did some, and by accident I figured out something, like I wanted it to look like, not necessarily a real strawberry, but like a fake chocolate strawberry. I showed them to my daughter and she goes, "It looks real." I don't know if it looks real or not, but anyway, I figured out a little trick and I will show you that trick once it dries. So then I also need to paint the green part, and so I'm going to use this Christmas green apple barrel. And it was a really nice dark green. I thought it looked pretty nice. Okay. So then I'm going to set this to dry, and it'll get another coat of red. Okay, so now I'm going to glue these on. So just get that glued on and just hold it until it sets up. And then I'm going to Mod Podge these in gloss because I want them to look like a shiny piece of candy. Like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about things being perfect because they're going to be in a piece of paper and in that box, and you're really not going to notice that much. So I just have the Mod Podge and the gloss. I'm just going to put that on these. That doesn't look like shiny candy. Okay, so this will be done. Okay, so these are all glossy now. Get another coat of red paint on this side. Can see where I kind of dug out right there trying to get that paper off. It was like hard to get off because I cut around the edge, and I think if I had it to do over again, I think I would pull the paper off and then trace on the foam board, and then I don't think it would be so hard to get it off. But I don't know, I've never peeled the paper off of a whole piece of foam board. I'd have to try it first to see how it did. But anyway, like I said, a lot of this you won't really see. And even though the edges are a little rough, I don't think you're going to notice it that much anyhow. So anyway, so then that's got to dry. And let's get another coat on the strawberry. It's crazy how fast it dries. The paint dries so fast. Okay. There we go. So that's got to dry again. And while that's drying, I'm gonna make the cupcake. So for the cupcake, I was trying to think of a way to make it cost effective. So I took these little, I took cardboard and I just kind of guesstimated and cut till I got one that fit. And then I just made a bunch of them like this to put down in the bottom. So I'm going to glue this in. Get rid of this in a minute. So I'm just going to glue this in. And so that's going to be the base of my cupcake. And then what I'm going to use to make the cupcake, I know this is kind of like, I just thought, I wonder if I could do this. And I did it and it worked. So what I did was I just took paper towels and I kind of wadded it up. So it was like, it would have been a full sheet. It's like this. I got these, they're Sam's Club brand, but I mean any paper towel I'm sure would work. So anyway, I was just thinking like about the size of a cupcake. And then I took the other paper towel, the other part of it. And I'm just gonna kind of, I'm trying to get not as many wrinkles on the sides. I mean, you can have a few if I was trying to cut down on them. So it just takes a little bit of finagling to kind of get it to come out. I mean, you are going to have some wrinkles, but you're going to be covering it up, so it's not the end of the world. So I was just thinking, looks like about right for a cupcake. And then I'm just going to drop a bunch of glue in here. And set this down in. And then once I have that in there, then I'm going to go around and glue the paper to the paper towel. So in other words, the cupcake holder to the paper towel. So I'm just going to run a little bit of glue at a time around the edge. And you have to kind of hold it while it dries. And try not to burn yourself. So this is where my little spatula thing kind of came in handy. Help hold it. And once it's dry, then I kind of move on to the next part. Just trying to hold it in and kind of keep the shape. So the bottom kind of helps keep that part. So you could do the foam sealant, like window sealant, and make cupcakes. You do the same kind of little round cardboard in the bottom, or you could buy like the little cup. Dollar Tree has like little Valentine's cupcakes right now that they're really cute. But I was trying to do something that was not that expensive, and so this was a way that I found, because what? It doesn't cost that much for a roll of paper towels, and you could make like so many of these for cheap. Like how much does a thing of cupcake holders cost? You know, you can get a package of them. I don't know how many come in them at Dollar Tree, but it's like a lot. More than you would probably need to make for what I'm going to be doing. The hardest part is just trying not to burn yourself. Almost got it. So I've done, I did a couple mock-up cupcakes like this, and I did ones with the hot glue, and I did some with the tacky glue. And I felt like the tacky glue had the best shape, and actually got the hardest, harder than the hot glue did. So I felt like that just worked the best for me. So that's the next step. And then we're gonna cover it with the red yarn that I got from Dollar Tree. So we're just gonna wind that around it and make it look like the icing. Okay, so once I have the glue on there, I'm gonna spread it out with a paintbrush. Just to make sure I get it kind of everywhere. I saw Joanne Brandy doing this with a project with the paintbrush after she put the tacky glue, and I thought, that's brilliant. I'm stealing that idea. So here we go. So I started doing that, and it worked so much better. Just making sure I got all the surface covered with the glue. So then I'm just gonna start with this, and I use this to kind of push it in. Hey, Ashley. So once I get to this part, I'm going to go ahead and cut off like how much I think will take to finish it off. And I'm going to make a loop so that I can hang it. But I want to put a little bit of glue in there. And this is the hard part. I burn the daylights out of myself every time, unfortunately. I can't seem to master this without burning myself. So then there is my cupcake. So I made some little, with the clay, you can see it's like painted the chocolate. So that's going to be my topper. So I'm going to put it like about right there. So this will firm up pretty good once it dries. And then you have, I did some hot pink, and then I did a light pink. So it's gonna go like this. So I didn't do as well on the paper with this, but I kind of learned by the time I got to this one and then this one to make it a little puffier. And it, like I said, it gets pretty hard. Like you could crush it if you really wanted to, but it's pretty firm. So then I took some of the yarn that I had that was the red and white, and I'm gonna tie these. I'm gonna put through the loop. So as you can probably guess now, I'm gonna be making a garland. So I'm gonna tie it onto the garland with that string right there. And it's just however long you want. I tied them pretty, because I put make a bow with that. So hardest part, getting it through the loop. See, I was right. I do get paint all over me. So this one's going to take a while for it to set up good. But I'll see if I can't try to kind of tie it. All right. So those are ready for the garland. So then the next thing, this isn't quite dry. I cut out a poster board. So you can see I have a poster board right here. And I did 5/8 of an inch. And I just drew that. And then cut this. So I'm going to make this into like the edge of my chocolate box. But I need it to dry just a tad more. So, but I guess I can do the strawberry now. Finish it. And also the chocolate ones. I need to finish those. So let's get... So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and put, there's like little holes, I don't know if you can see them, but I'm going to put a white dot wherever there's those little holes. So I did this first, and I thought, ooh, I didn't want to do the little black looking seeds because I thought that would look like little bugs on it or something. So I did the white, but I didn't really like just the white. But you will see in a minute what I do. Okay, so that was just the apple barrel white paint pen, acrylic paint pen, and it was like a wedge one, so it made it kind of easier to get in there and get that. So now I'm gonna take and paint that. Maybe do that. So I'm gonna paint red over the top of that white, and that gets my third and final coat on these. And I just really liked the way it looked. So you can still see the white through it, and when it dries, it has a really nice look to it. So that puts that done. Need to get another coat of the metallic on that. So that's starting to look pretty good. Right, so this right here, we got it at Hobby Lobby, and it's a tinsel snow flurry glitter. So that's what I'm going to put on the top of these to try to make them look like sugars on them. And I just did it with paint. It did fine for me. I've kind of always done my glitter with paint, and I've never really had any problems with it. It does pretty good for me. So then that just kind of looks like little sugar crystals on it. We're getting close to being able to put together our little... So I did these with tacky glue and the hot glue. So the hot glue doesn't look as pretty, but the tacky glue is like a nightmare to try to do, because like you have to try to hold it in place while you're doing it, and I just thought that was really hard to do. So maybe do this first. So it doesn't really matter which side you're, because I am going to paint it. Okay, so that's do I get rid of that? So I want to set it in just a little, I don't want it to be right on the edge. Because you know how, like, when you get a box of chocolates, there's like a little lip around the edge of it? That's kind of what I want it to look like. So that's the hard part, is just figuring exactly where that's going to be. The top won't matter as much because you're not going to see it. Because this will go on the garland as well and it won't show. Okay. So now I'm just going to run my glue around where I want the box stuff to go. And then you just kind of have to hold it for a second while it sets up. And that's the tricky part. So you can see how that's kind of inset just a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to try to bend it. And then cut this piece off. And then I've got to go do the other side. So like I said, you could use the lid of one of those heart boxes and it would be a lot easier to do that, and you get the look of a box of chocolates very easily. But like I said, I was trying to cut down on the cost of things. And this, I mean, the poster board is so cheap. Paint's cheap. The cupcakes that are just paper towels and a cup and a little bit of clay. I mean, you can put this stuff together for pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. And like the poster board and the foam board, that all came from Dollar Tree. And I think it was $1.50 for those. So, and I didn't even like, you can see where I cut this out. I still have this much of my poster board left. And I've made like quite a few of them. So this will be number 7. So I'm going to cut this off now. So that can just go right inside of there. So you can see how that's kind of coming together to make a box of chocolate. So I do have to run a little bit of paint around the outside edge, and then that'll have to dry. I'm not really going to worry about the inside because You won't see that. Different one, or that one. Because the paper will cover that. So I'm just gonna paint where the glue on the tip of the white kind of shows on the edge of the poster board. So it kind of covers up that yucky glue where I got it everywhere. It's kind of gapping. So that's just gotta dry up. And then all my candy will be ready. So these are all the candies that will go in it. All of these right here, including the strawberries. Oh wait, one more thing I almost forgot. So, and this has to be painted as well. So I took a half of one of those paper towels and I'm gonna make a candy with it using foil. And then I'm gonna paint it with the red metallic, the gold, I'm sorry. I'm gonna use the Folk Art metallic gold. See exactly what color it is. Antique gold. So, and then I'm going to paint this gold. And I think it took about 3 coats of the gold. I don't remember exactly, but something like that. You don't have to do all the way down, just because it'll be glued into the paper, so we only need like the top and down the sides a little bit. Okay, so that's gonna dry up. And while that's drying up, I'm gonna take a break and get all my stuff together to start putting the garland together and putting this together. But we have to wait for that to dry up. So I will be back in just a bit. Okay, so everything is dry and ready to go. So it's time to fill this cool thing with my candy. So I made like a little thing where I want to put holes in this. So I lined the fold kind of up with that. It's maybe not perfectly exact, but more or less. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to do like a little hole that way, just so I can see where my hole is. And I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to run the hole all the way through so it's nice and big. Okay, so then I have to run my string through this. So I need to put this through here. All right. So then I just need to glue this down so it doesn't move. So the way I did that was I took a little piece of cardboard, or like, it's like off of something that I bought, and I'm just gonna glue it down on each side. Where I punched the holes. So that way this part will not move on the string, so the boxes of chocolate will stay in place. All right, so now I just need to put all this stuff in it, and it takes 11 of these little cups because I have 11 pieces of chocolates or whatever. So I have 3, I think those are 3. So that's 2, 3, and then 2 more. So there we go. So then I need to glue these in, and I put the chocolates in it. So on this one right here, it was just a round, like, it looked like a bonbon, and I took the glue gun and I went like this and made a swirl, and then I painted it, and I showed it to my daughter and a friend of mine, and they thought it looked like poo-poo. So I took, I'm out of it. In fact, I barely made it through it. So I had this neon pink puppy paint, and I just ran along that so that I didn't want it to look like poo-poo. So anyway, so now I'm just going to glue these down. So I just glue the paper in first, and I use my little spatula that I got from Hobby Lobby. And this one is going to be the first chocolate that goes in there. Then I just glue the bottom of it and stick it in there. And then the next thing that goes are these right here. So I want one on each side. So let's glue those down. So this just lets me be able to get it in there without burning myself, which is always a good thing. Okay, so I want these to kind of go like this. So let's get those glued in there. Alright, then the next thing, one on each side of those. So this side ends up being a little bit tighter than this side. But the thing that I have that goes on this side is, this is a bit bigger, so it takes up a lot of space. So it works out. It's maybe not perfect, but it's good enough. I mean, when I get done with it, it's going to look like a box of chocolates, which is what I want. So this one on this side and this one on this side. So I'm one of those people that I love like the chocolate that you get. Like, you know how some people don't like all of the pieces of chocolate? I like every bit of every chocolate that's in the thing. I remember growing up, my brothers would always stick their fingers and bust open the bottom so they could see what it was. I could eat them all. I never had to do that because I just like them. I like even the kinds that no one else does. I know I'm really weird, but you know, it is what it is. All right, so then let's get this in there. Will be the strawberry. My very imperfect strawberry, but that's all right. I don't think it's gonna show that much. I think it'll look fine. And you kind of see how it dried, where you can see the seeds look different than the rest of it, but it's not overwhelming. Like the white was just too much. I didn't like it. I did not like it. Ouchie, that was hot. That was hot. Should know better than to stick my finger in the glue, but I do it all the time. Unfortunately, it doesn't feel good. I will tell you that. It does not feel good. But if you craft, I'm going to guarantee you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Chances are you know about being burnt with the glue gun and the little strings that go everywhere. So, I don't need this anymore. Get rid of that so it's not in my way. Alright, so I want the pink one to be on this side. Alright, here comes the hard side. This one is kind of little. But the paper kind of helps fill up even though it's not. Alright. Oh, I forgot to tell you this too. On this one, it wasn't tall enough. So before I painted it, I just took and added more clay onto it. So from here down, all of that was like just a big hunk of clay that I put on it because it was only about this big. But by the time you paint it and you stick it in the paper, you really couldn't tell. I just thought it was a cool looking one, but it just wasn't big enough. Was not big enough. Can I get you in there without burning myself? I think I did. Okay, here's the hardest one of all. It's hard to get the paper in. It's hard to fit that last little heart in there too. I ended up with this one, like mashing the paper down on some of them. Trying to fit it in. But I still think it looks all right. All right. So there you go. So now what I have to do is I have to tie these on. So I want to think, so now you can see, I want to think about halfway, and the light pink is the one that goes in the middle. Now the cupcakes, I do have them where they can move. The boxes of chocolate do not move. So I just tie it in one knot, and then I'm going to tie it around and tie a bow in it. And so I don't want that bow to come undone, so I'm going to tie just the loops again. That way it's kind of secures it on there. All right. So there you go. That's how that looks. So then the hot pink one, I put on this side, just approximately halfway. I didn't really measure those parts. I did measure in between the chocolates. I want to say it was like 38 centimeters, but it might have been 40, I forget. I kept having to measure. But when I did the last one, I just measured from the end by comparing it to the other end. And that was what I did. So they would have approximately the same starting point. So then here's this one. This one's not really gotten hard yet, so I don't know how well it's gonna do. I had let the other ones dry overnight. Just little bows. And I'm gonna also double tie the little loops. All right, so this garland is done. So you can see there's a lot more to it. So I have 7 boxes of chocolates, and in between each box of chocolate is one of each color of the cupcakes. So I measured it. It goes all the way across my wall over my couch, all the way to the corner of like where my fireplace is. So you can see this is going to go over there. So this is done. I will get a video of it hanging up once I get it hung up, and then that will complete this. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope this gives you an idea of something that you can do. So just with some Dollar Tree yarn and paper towels and cupcake things you can buy at the Dollar Tree. The clay, you know, you can get at Hobby Lobby for 40% off. And this is just foam board and poster board and just those little mini dessert cup things that they have that you can also get at Hobby Lobby. And you can get those like and put together a really cute garland for not very much money. A lot of work, I will say it was a lot of work, but I think it's going to look adorable, like little boxes of chocolate and all these little Valentine's cupcakes hanging up there. So anyway, I hope you enjoy that, and I hope you'll give me a like, and feel free to like tell me things. I'd love to hear from any of y'all, and I do have a surprise coming up of something that I ordered, and I'm going to open the box when I get it. I'm going to open it up in a video. It's something that I've been really wanting. So I want to share that with y'all when I get it and when I open it. So it could be Saturday or after, although I'm thinking with the weather. We live in Texas, and it looks like we're going to get some freezing rain, sleet, possibly a little tiny bit of snow. So it could be pretty bad, and no matter where you are, I hope that you guys stay safe and warm, and I look forward to hearing from y'all. Thank you for everything, and please give me a like. Thanks.